Okay, guys, welcome back. We got to talk about San Francisco because Targets are now closing in the Bay Area, right? Target is closing the San Francisco store. Two Bay Area locations are also closing down because of insane amounts of theft. So Target is kind of like a higher version of Walmart's. You got groceries, and also the furniture selection is pretty good. They also have some pretty cheap clothing, which also looks pretty decent for a very low price. So people like Target, right? Especially the college students. But here's the thing about Target. A lot of employees have actually came out and say that in the San Francisco location, people were literally shoplifting every 10 minutes. Like a lot of petty stuff, people stealing lipstick, people stealing food, people just stealing small items, toys, whatever it is, even clothing, and just stuffing them inside like their purses or their pockets, or just straight up grab some things and walk out. First of all, the cops can't really do anything. They're overstretched. San Francisco is short on 600 to 800 officers. And there's going to be an upcoming almost $30 million budget cut in the police department in the next few months anyway. So I kind of see why that Target just wants to leave. In fact, the Target situation is so bad that Target is forced to lock up its underwear brand Pair of Thieves as it tries to crack down on theft. I mean, the CEO says that they've lost a staggering $500 million in shoplifting in the past 12 months. This is not something to joke about. These are numbers that could absolutely cripple whole entire companies. And we're not talking about, a few $1,000,000 here and there. $500 million lost in merchandise because of rampant theft. In fact, many cities, like Seattle, Portland, Sacramento, LA, the Bay Area, you can have a lot of shoplifting, but you can't really fix it, right? Shoplifting in a lot of the California places, if it's not above like an insane amount, it was like what, $900 or something, $700. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's almost at $1,000. If you don't shoplift more than that, it's just a misdemeanor, right? It's a slap on the wrist. And even if you do like a $2,000 shoplifting heist, I mean, the most you'll get is probably like a little talk at the police station. That's what a lot of people are saying. A lot of the laws are just not strict enough, right? People could shoplift thousands of dollars worth of merchandise, and the consequences are just very, very light. If you go outside the US, like if you go to Singapore, the reason why they don't have shoplifting is like if you shoplift a MacBook, that's like 7 years in jail. It's actually insane. So if you look at Target, I kind of see why they're closing down, right? Target announced that they will be closing 3 Bay Area stores, including the San Francisco one. This is actually a very fantastic location. And here's the thing, I don't necessarily think it's just the shoplifting incidents. It's also that not a lot of people are in the Bay Area anymore. If you look at this location, it's pretty nice, right? It's around the Mission area. It's right next to the highway. It's very accessible. And a lot of people live in Mission, and there's a lot of restaurant owners here. So this Target location is absolutely fantastic. It's also pretty close to all the other guys in the Civic Center. It's pretty close to the Twitter HQ as well, just like a 5-minute walk. And this Target is supposed to be bringing in a lot of money. This is supposed to be one of those super high-end Targets. But even this Target, despite the fences, the security camera, almost feels super dystopian. Even this Target can't really compete against the crazy amounts of shoplifting. They're losing more money than they're making. And of course, in this capitalist market, if you're losing money a lot in a certain city, you're just going to close it down. And losing $500 million, that is not a low number, guys. It's a lot of it comes from organized crime. It's no longer people who need things. It's people who are here to make a fat profit by just doing massive amounts of shoplifting and crime. And just pretty much a bunch of people go in, they loot the crap out of the store, and they run away. And this is why Target is kind of sick and tired of the Bay Area and closing multiple stores. It's not normal for Targets like these in fantastic locations in downtown cities to close down. Typically, these Targets thrive and the business is pretty good. Even downtown Chicago's Target has a lot of business, and shoplifting is nowhere as bad as in Cali. And we got more stuff. Even Starbucks is deciding to close 7 stores in San Francisco. They still have about 40 to 50 different stores, but these 7 stores, a lot of them do cater towards the office workers, and even Starbucks is taking a big beating. I mean, Starbucks, McDonald's, Whole Foods are generally the grocery stores and food stores that tend to survive and tend to thrive really well in big cities. But guess what? Whole Foods, Amazon Go, Starbucks, they're all leaving. Even Amazon Go. You know that one Amazon store where you walk in and you walk out with the items and it gets auto charged to your phone? Yeah, Amazon Go opened their stores for a few months and they closed down. I don't think that's a great idea to have Amazon Go in San Francisco when shoplifting is like top 5 and car break-ins is like number 1. So Amazon Go is like, yeah, maybe that wasn't a great idea. Westfield Mall also closed down, and it's just not a great situation. We're also seeing a lot of big employers, especially in the tech company, are cutting workers or sending the workers outside the city, but mostly sending the workers online. You're seeing Salesforce already leaving a whole entire San Francisco skyscraper bearing its name completely empty. They don't want to stay here anymore. They don't want to live here anymore. Salesforce is kind of tired of this whole situation. They're downsizing many of their offices. And if you guys think it's just Salesforce firing workers and cutting down on office space, wait till you see what Schwab is doing, Adobe, and even Dropbox. We're seeing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of square footage of luxury AAA rating offices being cut. And many of these office vacancies are rising every single day. In fact, many business owners are saying that the vacancy rates are more than 33%, which is what they report. In fact, business owners are saying that it's more like 60, 70% because so many of these offices are still being leased out, but there's no employees in it because their lease doesn't end until the next few years. So we could truly see the magnitude of this, right? Just look at what the office workers are saying. They're saying they're leaving. They don't want to stay here. Listen to what the restaurants at the Mission have to say. There's always some restaurant at the Mission every single week closing down. Valencia Street, this massive street just filled of great restaurants and cafes and bars. You could never find a single vacancy back before the pandemic because everyone wanted a spot. Now, it's impossible to find a single spot in the Mission, right? Now there's spots everywhere. So many vacancies, and it's just not a great sign. You're seeing residents having to buy planter boxes and put them on the side of a sidewalk just to deter homeless people from making tents outside their apartment complex. It's crazy. And also, there's going to be massive budget cuts in the health department, police department, and much, much more. So get ready for San Francisco to probably don't even have the money to take care of the homeless population. It's only going to get worse. There's not really any drastic changes. Right now, San Francisco is actually being cleaned up because of the upcoming APEC event, which is a huge Asia Pacific economic event. It's a huge convention. You got Biden's there, also have the Chinese president there, and hundreds of high-tech CEOs. And San Francisco is actually pretty clean in the past few days, but I feel like after the event, it's going to eventually crumble down to what it was before. So Targets, they're closing down, right? I wouldn't really be surprised if more of these close down. In fact, it's not just Targets. We also have the Lucky supermarket grocery stores. Recently have closed down about 3 stores in the Bay Area. And it's getting really, really bad, right? We're about to head over towards 2024, and the situation is only getting worse by the day. It just seems like every single week, there's always some company downsizing their office or firing a bunch of workers or moving workers online. And every single week, there's always some restaurant or some big corporation like Target cutting back on their space. So let's just see what happens in San Francisco. Right now, the situation is pretty dire. It's pretty bleak. But hey, if they do some massive changes, they might swing this around.